My project is all about Olympic motivation. I've been researching articles, interviews, stories about all the past Olympians and current Olympians and their motivational stories where they pushed through obstacles and overcame hardships. And I brought my cousin Bradley here today from Texas to tell his story about how he actually made it to the Olympic trials for diving, but once he got there on his warm up, he slipped and hit the water wrong and ended up getting a concussion, and he was unable to compete further. I have my cousin Bradley here on Skype to interview him about his experiences with the Olympic trials. So, Bradley, tell us, what inspired you to begin diving?
Hey, Amy. Growing up in South Carolina, anybody who's been there knows that it's a very nice place to be. The weather's always beautiful. So, yeah, I think it was just natural to, be attracted to a sport that was, that had to do with water. My family had a boat, and when I was younger, me and my family would go on that boat. And my favorite thing to do was just to jump on the rope, grab it, and dive right into the water. And I think, at a young age, I realized really quickly that diving was something I liked to do. Um, as I got older, I don't think that being in the Olympics was ever something that crossed my mind until 2004 when I saw Stephen Barnett win the Olympics. I thought that being an underdog, it just proved that you don't always you don't always have to have the odds in your favor to win. You could have the odds stacked against you and still pull through, and it makes it just that much better of a story.
So, obviously, you worked so hard to get there. How did it feel when you finally made it to the Olympic trials?
I would have to say, it was definitely one of the best feelings I've had in my entire life. After all the 6 a.m. practices, after all the two-a-day workouts, after all the strict dieting, I finally made it, and I was there. It was definitely a great feeling.
Okay, now I hate to bring this up, but after your accident, after it set in and they told you you couldn't compete, how did you feel?
Well, as you can probably believe that, it was one of the worst feelings I've had. And at first, I just didn't believe it. And as it set in, it really began to hit me that I'm not going to be able to go on to the Olympics.
Okay, so my last question. Are you going to try and make the Olympic trials in the future?
Of course, I'm going to try it again. I mean, coming so close to something that could be so great, as much as, the injury really, really put me down, it just made me that more determined to just want to do it again, work harder, and make it in the 2020 Olympics. So keep a lookout.
I will. So thank you all for listening. I really hope you got something out of this Olympic motivation interview.